Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to talk about one of the new champions added to the game. We spoke about her in yesterday's video, I think the video before as well. She is a really interesting rare champion to say the least, right? I think she's going to be usable by a lot of players out there, especially after actually building her out, maxing her, and play testing her. And her name is Dagger. She's a banner lord, Dagger. She has kind of that same aesthetic, to me at least, as Rowan does. Pretty cool, kind of the whole body armor look going on. Pretty cool champ. But what's really cool about her is her skills, right? And you know, well, let's cover them all. A1, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each critical hit decreases the target's turn meter by 4%. Not too bad. 8% turn meter reduction on the A1, providing both are critical. Precision Sabotage, here it is. 3-turn cooldown, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing the big version of decreased defense for 2 turns. Now, I highly recommend getting Sniper to bump that up to an 80% chance, but an 80% chance of decreased defense from a Void Affinity champion is something that immediately caught my eye. Right now, we only really have War Maiden on a 3-turn consistent AoE decreased defense in terms of rare options. A lot of players don't have Stag Knight, don't have Tyrell, so they're really suffering in terms of having a reliable 3-turn cooldown decreased defense AoE attacker on their team. Dagger is the answer to a lot of players, especially kind of in the mid game right now. She can fill in again for a champion like Stag Knight because she also has the decreased attack on her A3, which is also on the 3-turn cooldown. Granted, it is not an AoE attack, but still against bosses, you do have the strong version of decreased attack if they're under decreased defense, otherwise the weak version, and you have the decreased defense. And I'm happy to say, Sword Break Knife actually can break a sword. It's actually a hard-hitting ability, which is really nice to see in her kit as well. Her A1 isn't super hard-hitting. It is a A1 after all, and Precision Sabotage is kind of middle of the road in terms of the damage that it deals. Her aura is attack and faction crips by 20%. She has 1 review right now, but let me tell you, this guy's crazy. A 3 in Dragon's Lair in campaign? I'm joking, but I'm going to go ahead and give her a 5 in well, maybe that's a little bit extreme. Oops. We'll change it to 4 in campaign locations. But Dragons, 5. Arena Offense, a 5 because she can be your speed farm debuffer. Granted, we're playing at a 75 or 80% chance when Sniper of landing that decreased defense, which is the only suboptimal part of her kit, right? However, everything else, man, I mean, she's a champion worth looking into. All the keeps we're not going to rank, but again, 5 in Ice Golem's Keep, 5 in Fire Knight Castle, because the thing is, 5 in Spider's Den, because if you need, you know, if that's what you're lacking right now, even in Clan Boss, early levels of Clan Boss, if that's what you're lacking in terms of decreased defense, decreased attack, she has it, okay? So, in terms of masteries on this champion, I went with a very, very typical War Master build, just kind of hug the left side of the offensive tree. On support, more importantly, I wanted to get her accuracy, obviously, higher than 200 for level 20 dungeons. We got the, we started out with pinpoint accuracy, kind of went down, hugged the right side of the support tree, notably, Arcane Celerity is going to be important, has a 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% when a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expires. That's a really kind of great ability to have on a debuffer who has, again, the AoE debuff along with a decreased attack. We have Lore of Steel because we do have a basic artifact set or 2 on this champion. And then, of course, Master Hexer and Sniper, both going to be pretty much mandatory. Well, in terms of you can use her without obviously, you know, booking her is going to be important, but without getting all the masteries right away. But I would definitely go for support tree first and prioritize that and get the Sniper unlocked to get that up to an 80% chance, and Master Hexer a chance to decrease the duration of her decreased defense and decreased attack. Went to War Master again on the tier 6 mastery on this champion. So I'm excited about her, guys. I think she's a cool champ. In terms of, let's see, artifacts. So this is the total stats that I built her at. Very noteworthy here, guys, that her defense is low at 793. Also her HP. So she's very fragile. It's another kind of downside to this champion. However, you know, what I tend to do on champions with this low of a defense, especially a debuffer, with champions this low on defense, I'm going to go ahead and prioritize at least one, if not two, of my accessory slots on HP, on defense. Because think about it. I mean, this defense multipliers, the scaling, excuse me, sucks on this defense. Meaning that champions, if I have a defense chest on her, for example, defense percentage, I mean, the percentage of 793 is so low. Because there's a lot of champions with double this defense in the game. And that's where that would scale much better. That's what we talk about. That's what we mean when we talk about scaling in this game on artifacts. So in a weird way, having flat stat accessories on this champion for defense actually are advantageous compared to dropping like an attack ring with, 16% defense. 16% defense isn't adding much defense overall. 160 or so defense is not gonna be that big of a deal. But if you have a defense ring, let's take a look here. I think I do have a defense ring. 265. That's way more valuable than 13, even 14% defense overall. So just kind of take that into consideration. We have crit damage on the amulet, and then I went HP on the banner. In order to make that happen, I made sure that I put at least one accuracy set on her. I would run 3 accuracy sets on this champion if it meant that I could sneak in an HP or a defensive banner, or heck, even if you're not dying, put an attack banner on her. But I really, for any debuffer who's not being ran in Arena or High Level of Doom Tower, I'm really trying to get away without having to put that accuracy banner. However, a lot of you guys, maybe you just started playing, maybe you just don't have the accessories farmed up or whatever, the artifacts, totally cool. I would just default pretty much to an accuracy banner. It's also worth noting that my Great Hall accuracy is maxed for Void, so I'm getting a lot of help there too. So again, the majority of you will go accuracy, and that's just fine. I wouldn't even hesitate that much if you have to go accuracy on your banner. I wouldn't even say it's the end of the world if you end up going defense or HP to make up some of those defensive stats on your amulet. So again, that's kind of how I built her out. I looked for only really 3 stats when building up this champion in terms of substats. I looked for crit rate, accuracy, and speed. That's pretty much it. And then I wanted to put crit damage gauntlets on her. So that's what I did on basically all my artifacts. This one isn't even maxed out, but crit rate, accuracy, crit rate, speed. You're going to see that on basically everything. Speed, crit rate, no accuracy. I'm looking for 2 of the 3, right? Crit rate and, well, speed is the main stat, so there you go. So I wanted to have her fast. I want my debuffer to be going as often as possible. Obviously, the first turn, I want her going before my nuker on the team. So 212 speed is good. 94 crit rate is okay. 197 crit damage, I will take it with a 3400 attack. Obviously, this champion will hit much harder if you put her with an increased attack champion on the same team. Let's go ahead and try her out and stop talking about her, guys. So, dungeons. I'm not even going to show you in campaign. You'll see what kind of damage she can put out here in these dungeons. So let's start out with Dragon's Lair. And yeah, a pretty decent team. I wanted to throw an increased attack champion. I didn't have the 2 rares, I believe, who have the ability. Maybe 3. Grinner, one of them, I don't know. So I put Seeker on the team just for the increased attack. And then we have Reliquary Tender for support. We have Apothecary for support. We have Kale to do damage alongside Dagger, who is also our debuffer. I think this is a rare worth building for anybody who does not have Stagnite, does not have Tyrell, or does not have like an OP legendary decreased defense champion. Even people who do have a War Maiden, I would say she's worth building out. I think that she can put out a little bit more damage overall than a War Maiden. And also, it's nice to have the decreased attack on there as well. And most importantly, the fact that she is Void Affinity means that she is, you can run her everywhere. You can't really run War Maiden consistently, or at least it's difficult to run War Maiden consistently against Spirit Affinity, which kind of negates her utility in Ice Golem. You don't have that issue with Dagger. So you can run Dagger in Dragon, Ice Golem, and Fire Knight. A 2-hitter for Fire Knight makes her at least some utility, some extra utility that she brings to the table, help chip away at that sword. So let's go ahead and pay attention to the damage that she's dealing here, guys. I'm sure some of you guys probably already noticed, but she's going to go into her decreased attack. Great decreased attack. So you can't judge her on that. That was a decreased attack hit, but it was around like 11k. She hits for around 20 to 25k with the 52k on the A3 there, not too bad. She hits around, the way I have her built out right now, if I can speak, is going to be, you know, again, with a just shy of 200 crit damage, she's looking at around 18 to 20 to 29k, I guess, in that range of the A2, the decreased defense ability. And she is tanking here for the team as well. She has the lowest HP on the team. My bad on that. But there you go. That's 63k. I've seen it hit over 80k on the A3 so far just in playtesting her. So you're looking at a pretty hard hitting, especially for a rare A3. And do note there, she's hitting for around 11k or so on her A1. But we are getting that turn meter reduction as well, which is always nice. Obviously, that will not work against the dragon here, who is immune to turn meter. So let's see what we can do here. I'm very curious to see what her damage will be compared to Kale, who obviously is going to stack up some serious damage once he starts unleashing the poisons against the dragon here. I don't think she's going to be able to outdamage a poisoner against the dragon, but you never know, especially since she was stunned half that other the second round. So here we go. That was her A2 there. And Reliquary Tender, so good. I mentioned that every video that I show with her in it. Such a good champion. 50k plus the War Master proc. Not too bad there on the A3. So she's going to put out some damage, man. Very curious to see how much she puts out in total. But this team is fairly accessible, I guess, you know, considering hopefully you have Dagger. And, you know, I like having a cleanser slash healer in the role of a Reliquary Tender on this team, right? So consider... always look for a cleanser to build. If you don't have one, just keep your eyes open. Cleansers, someone who removes all debuff from your team, is something that I've noticed early game players, for whatever reason, don't always appreciate appropriately. We have 1,000,000 damage compared to 1.5 from Kale. That's actually the biggest discrepancy that I saw while playtesting, but again, she was stunned up and targeted quite a bit there. So let's go ahead and see how she does in another dungeon. And thank you very much for the Ancient Shard. By the way, guys, I open shards every day on Game On. You can see, I'm going to open that shard up for you guys right now before we jump into Fire Night. So yeah, I open shards every day on my Game On Amazon account. It will be available on iOS starting in January, but right now it's PC and Android only. It will be in the pinned comment again. I invite you guys to go over there on a daily basis and check out what champions I'm lucky enough to get. Not a ton of shards, usually about anywhere from 1 sacred to 3 or 4 void or ancient shards a day there. So let's go into, let's go into Fire Knight's Castle. You know what, guys? We don't need 2 cold hearts. You know, you guys give me crap sometimes for doing 2 cold hearts, and you're right. You're right on that. We should switch things up a little bit. Let's use some champions we never use. So some champions we never use to fill this team in. I'm kind of looking at the affinity. Maybe let's go with a Romero, maybe? For a little support. He only has a 1-hitter on his A1, though. Kind of want somebody who hits a couple times at least on their A1. 2 times at random with the heal, decrease speed. Tanix. Let's put Tanix in there. And let's put, I never really used Doom Priest, but she only has a 1-hitter on the A1. Do we have only 1 hit on the bear? Yeah. Sorry, guys. Oh, you know what? I just maxed out Basilisk. He's got an AoE on his A1. You know what we could do, though? We could do Husk. We could do Husk. But I need an Aura lead, too. So give me maybe... Let's see. Who can we do Aura lead? Does he... Defense and... Okay. This seems like a very interesting team. Let's see how it works. Let's see how it works. Husk is a champion, the max HP champion that nobody really talks about. Kind of rightfully so, because he doesn't do a ton of damage on his max HP ability. However, what he does do is stun. So it's kind of cool to have that. That's the A3 again, 41k landed there. Let's see if we can actually get to the Fire Knight. If we do, I think we'll be just fine. Vrask is actually a really solid healer. Probably one of, if not the best in terms of consistency, epic healer in the game. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me there. The only thing is you just can't get those huge heals, but just consistent heals, and it can basically, in terms of sheer healage, he can basically out-heal anybody, right? Oh, man. I was just looking at my webcam. Yes, I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt. I meant to take this off before the video. It's my week with the sun. It is a snow day today. So we're at Target, and I'm like, I'll buy any shirt you want me to. You know those little shirts at like the Target racks or whatever? And he picked out Mickey Mouse. Yeah. I'm not one of those people who loves wearing Disney shirts 24/7, 365. But it's his favorite TV show, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, man. It's actually pretty good for kids, you know? It's a thing about, you know, I'm sure there's some parents watching this video right now, but it's weird. You end up watching stuff, you know, and actually picking favorites out of kids shows because some of it's awful, like really awful. So you're like, how about Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? 'Cause that's tolerable, you know? So that's what we're doing right now. So yeah, a lot of snow right now today. We spent a couple hours shoveling this morning, and then we went sledding with a next door neighbor. He really loved that, and now he is napping. Anyway, back to reality, back to Raid Shadow Legends, or non-reality, I should say. So let's see if we can get this shield down. That was the A2 not landing, obviously, because the shield is up. Let's see. I'm a little worried that we need the Heartseeker to land like right now, and it was game over, but of course that doesn't happen. You'll notice the decreased max HP on Coulthard. That's because she is in a Destroy set because of Scarab King. So let's see. It's just going to be RNG here. If she had just went with the A1 there, it would be over, but she didn't. Okay, let's see. And now she doesn't have Heartseeker up. I think we might... Well, Vrask kept everybody pretty well healed here. And then we go A2. See, if I took it off auto and just went manual, it'd be over by now. But we like to have auto teams here, right? We don't like to, you know, we don't like to go manual. So Vrask goes hopefully one more. See that turn meter reduction she had on her A1? That was pretty big there, right? Getting that turn meter down a little bit. It's going to add up, especially against the Fire Knight, which is why I prefer her to War Maiden against Fire Knight, I think, you know? So I prefer to War Maiden against Fire Knight and against Ice Golem. That's saying a lot, and there we go. We beat the Fire Knight with kind of a weird team. I wonder how much damage Husk did compared to Dagger. That's going to be the question to really take a look at here before the end of this one. And man, this is why Lure is just so good. I mean, if you don't... Lysandra, I think, is the best turn meter reduction against the Fire Knight. But for anybody who doesn't have Lysandra, which is a majority of people watching right now, Allure is just so good, man. I mean, once you get that shield down, it's basically game over. And again, that A1 just helping out a little bit, making sure we can get to our next Heartseeker, that A1 of Dagger with the turn meter, helping out just to make sure we can get to our next attack, our decreased turn meter attack. So Dagger did the same amount of damage as Husk. I mean, not bad, right? Vrask put out over 1 million heals. Allure 417, Husk 7.75 million, and Coulthard over 1 mil. Really well done, really well done. I'm gonna go ahead and show you an Ice Golem run, guys, because why not, right? So this team is actually kind of fun, right? Let's just take out Kale, and let's just put in. I have no Aura Lead again on this team. Yeah, no one has it in dungeons. Who did I just take out? Who did I just take out? You ever do that? Oh, Reliquary Tender. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and take out, let's keep the same as is, the team as is. And I didn't even have a decreased defense on the team. Let's just run it like this and see what happens with no aura. Because Miscreated is only in the arena, and everything else is Faction Wars, I believe, unless I'm an idiot. Anyway, let's see what we can do with this team here. I have Dark Helhane. By the way, guys, man, a lot of responses to the Dark Helhane video. I might do another one talking about. I think I'm gonna do maybe 2 videos tomorrow for you guys because I really want to talk about Armiger and kind of like Dark Helhane, how his value just absolutely skyrocketed thanks to Doom Tower. So let's see if we can keep everybody alive here. And it looks like we might lose Dagger here. Let's see. Or Dark Helhane. I've really taught myself to not say Elaine. Dark Helhane? So here we go, Death's Majesty. She might die there. No, she stays alive. Barely. I feel like we could almost use a Vrask on this team too, right? So we barely stay alive, but even if we had died, we have 2 revivers on this team, and Reliquary right over there behind my chair, and Syl on the opposite side of... Does it bother you guys that I cover up the last champion? Would you like my videos better if I was like this big instead? You guys can let me know. Always appreciate your feedback. So we lost somebody there. Didn't see who it was. Too busy making myself smaller. I feel so small. Ah! Here we go. All right. So let's see. The only thing I worry about on this team, really, is doing too much damage. And that's, you know, we mentioned that quite a few times here on the channel before, but, you know, especially Dark Helhane, dude, she's going to go freaking ham on this Ice Golem. So that was the A2 hitting for 20k. And you can see that, you know, similar to a Stag Knight, similar to a Tayrel, similar to a War Maiden, basically all the popular decreased defense champions, her damage seems to be right in line with them, you know? If I ran a Stag Knight on these teams in the same equipment, the same gear as her, he's probably doing around 750,000 damage as well, you know, on the same teams. So I would say she's basically right in line with the best decreased defense champions that are non-legendary. I think the best decreased defense champion, I'm sure I'm probably forgetting somebody here, but is Abyss or Abyss. I think she's legendary, of course, but in terms of damage output from a decreased defense AoE champion, she's who I'm using in Doom Tower as my her or Ghostborn. Anyway, here we go. Again, this team's gonna, you know, do a hell of a job here. Granted, I do have a little bit more bang on this team with Miscreated Monster in terms of, you know, an epic champion. Well, I had Vrask on the last team too, so hopefully you guys kind of get the point. But still, man, I think that, you know, to conclude this video, so it doesn't go on for, you know, 30 minutes, I'm a big fan of Dagger. She's available in events right now if you're watching this video, you know, in real time because of the fusion. I think she's better than War Maiden. I think that she's perfect for people who are looking for a War Maiden upgrade and don't have Stag and Tayrel. And even if you do have Stag and Tayrel but not the other one, you might still want to invest in Dagger. That way you can go ahead and take advantage of the Void Affinity. So again, she puts out 1.2 million damage, way out damaging our support champions, so the Drakes, Reliquary Tender, Miscreated Monster, and of course not even doing half the damage as the Beast, Dark Helhane. Guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it there. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a good day, and as always, take care, guys.